trick that I'll share with you. I can choose a better way with every little thought I think. If I wake up with a bad attitude, I fill my mind with gratitude. I give thanks for everything with every little thought I think. I can choose to be happy, choose to be free, moment by moment. It's all up to me, 'cause what I think about, I bring about. That's the way it is, and there is no doubt. Day by day, I pave the way with every little thought I think.
Hello and welcome. I am so glad you're here. I'm Beth, a creator-based coach with CMH Coaching for Life. I'm here today to help you and those you love create a life you feel grounded and at home in. Think of a life where you feel peace, love for those around you, and in a flow with just enough challenge to keep you happy and creating something wonderful. Sounds like magic, but it's not. You can create that life every single day. You can have a life full of love, excitement, hope, and creation. Our mission at CMH Coaching is to flood the earth with light through compassion, mindfulness, and hope. And I'm going to ask a favor of you. If you like what you see and hear today, think of someone you know that would enjoy and benefit from this message. Our mission is to flood the world with compassion, mindfulness, and hope. Share this with them. But for now, this is time just for you. So settle into whatever you're doing and enjoy this time with the girls, where we create that one awesome, amazing, perfect life every one of us is seeking.
What you thinking? What you thinking? What you thinking? What you thinking? You gotta watch your thinking. Watch your thinking. Watch your thinking.
Hey, y'all. Welcome to A Creator-Based Life. It's Beth, and I'm here by myself today. Can you believe it? But I didn't want you to miss out on this week's summer self-care because it's really important. It's about emotions. And we all have emotions. And some days our emotions are low, and some days our emotions are high, and some days they're frantic, and some days they're calm. And that is just part of being human. We call it permission to be human as we allow ourselves to ride the waves of emotions. You see the water behind me? There are high tides and there are low tides. There are stormy days and there are really quiet, serene days like that beautiful, beautiful scene out there right now. But you got to get all kinds of days. So part of what we need to do as human beings is enjoy, or at least appreciate. And if we can't appreciate, maybe be aware of the emotions that are coursing through us. So I've been gifted to be a deep feeler. Anybody that knows me I have the gift to weep, and that I am available to engage in any kind of emotional disruption you got going on. I tend to absorb energies if I'm not definitely careful, and I really feel empathetically for people. It's a gift, and it's what helps me in my coaching a lot and in my energy practice. But it also has required me to learn some really important tools, like you have permission to be you, and I have permission to be me. And I will support you on your journey, but it's not my responsibility to do your journey. And so allowing myself to say, you do you, and I'll do me, and we'll be here together is super, super helpful. I can engage somewhat, and I can feel what you're feeling, but I don't have to solve your problems. And that's the way it is for you. You have people in your life that you just love. I mean, people that you just would give your right arm if they could live life and be happy, right? Maybe somebody's sick, or maybe somebody's struggling through a really hard emotional issue, and that affects you. And you have all kinds of emotions about that. But it's not your job to solve it. It's our creator's job to solve it if it needs to be solved. Most of the time, we don't need to solve any of it. We just need to live through it. And so we use our tools. For instance, when something big places itself in front of me, it might be someone who is irate. The first thing that works for me is just, even if it's not a physical step back, it's a mental step back. And with that mental step back comes a nice, deep breath all the way in, and then a long, slow, deep, releasing breath out. And then another full, deep breath all the way in from your gut, and then all the way out, maybe through pursed lips. Along with slow breath. Let's do one more. A nice deep breath in, and then a long, slow, releasing breath out. Okay. Is that irate person still in front of my face? Yeah. Are they a little bit confused because I just sat there and breathed at them for 3 breaths? Probably. But that doesn't matter. What matters is I am now in a place to support me. And if I'm supporting myself, I can support you. It's like put your own oxygen mask on first, right? Whether that emotion is fear or that emotion is anger or frustration. Oh, I'm really good at frustration. And stubbornness, my personal favorite. Whatever it is, a breath makes it better. And so you ground your feet into the earth. And if this were the bottom of my foot, I feel like that was my cheese grater, just saying. But if I were on the bottom, if I were grounded into the bottom of my foot, this were my big toe, this were my little toe, this were my heel, I would make sure I could feel all 3 of those points, maybe even 4 points if I was feeling both sides of my heel. And there's a meridian endpoint here at the end of your hand. There's also one in this part of your foot, if I had my foot up here to show you. And so energetically, when you connect your big toe, your little toe, and your heel, this energetic point connects to the earth, and the magnetics of the earth and the feeling of being connected help your whole soul feel grounded. And so when you have something big come at you and you settle down those 4 points on your feet, or the 3, depending on how you look at it, and you let this spot be connected, and you take that deep breath, and you know what's really cool is to start it from your feet and just breathe all the way up and then blow out with those pursed lips. And it's not a hard blowout. It's just letting the air out slowly. And when you purse your lips, that really helps. So when you bring it all in and you let it all out, it is miraculous how, at least for me, my shoulders come down and the tension in the back of my neck relaxes. And pretty soon I feel like I'm standing just a little taller and a little stronger, standing strong with a nice deep breath. It's super important. So that's my first tool, and I use it multiple times a day. I also talk to myself, maybe tell myself it's okay because there's a part of me that's a little bit frustrated or a little part of me that's a little bit angry. And I'll just say, that's okay. Just like I would talk to one of my clients and coach them. That's okay. What are we learning from this? Okay, so we're learning that this bothers me. And then we're going to do the 5 whys. Why does this bother me? Because I feel disrespected. Why do I feel disrespected? Or why is it important that I feel disrespected? What's going on with that? And then begin to explore just what's the answer to that question. I deserve respect. Then here's the 3rd why. Well, why do I deserve respect? Well, because I'm important, for goodness sake. I deserve respect. Well, why am I important? Here's my 4th why. Because I'm a daughter of God and all of God's children are important. And then why are all of God's children important? Here's my fifth why. And this totally diffuses what started out as that frustration here, because we are literally his sons and daughters, and we're here on loan. So we're here to learn, we're here to grow, we're here to move forward. And we can do that. And he loves us and takes care of us, right? That's how our creator works. But you can see how the five whys took me from I'm just flat PO'd to wow, I'm a daughter of a creator and I'm important and he loves me. Five whys. So deep breath, center yourself, a mental or an emotional step back. And then if you want to keep going, maybe do the five whys. But stay away from the cheese grater. I gotta tell you, I did it twice on that block of mozzarella cheese and it looks like hamburger, but looks better. This is day 3. Anyway, okay, so here's another one for you. You know, in the old times when men used to mine by hand, and it was like in the 1800s, the late 1800s, the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, the miners used to go into the coal mine at dawn, come out at dusk, right? But the way that they'd ride a track all the way down into the coal mine, and sometimes they were so deep in the earth, there wasn't a way to tell if the air was going to be good because it was a long, long way to the doorway. And so they came up with this, I think it's ingenious idea of taking a canary in a cage down into the coal mine with them. The idea being that as long as the canary is singing, the air is good. And if the canary stops singing, it's time to stop work and move out into the sunshine. Okay. That was it. That's where that phrase, the canary in the coal mine, comes from. But think about that in terms of your emotional mental health. So we've talked often, what makes your heart sing? That's my canary. She lives right there inside my heart somewhere. She's a brilliant, beautiful yellow. And she's singing when the sun's out and when the breeze is blowing. This morning it was beautiful. She was singing outside as we watched the sunrise. She's singing when I'm drinking my Creo, when I'm watching something that I just love, or when I'm writing, or when I'm talking with a friend, all of those things. My canary is singing. When my canary stops singing, it's time for me to pay attention. What thought did I just have that caused my canary to stop singing? Then, once I've identified that thought, what emotion did that thought elicit? And it's usually the emotion that I'll notice first. My canary stopped singing because I feel irritated about something, or I feel uncomfortable. Or sometimes it's a part of my body hurts. Like I'll get a sore right shoulder, or I'll get a sore left lower back, or I'll have a knee that doesn't feel good. And so that's my first indicator. Oh, my body is telling me, or my canary has stopped singing, that there's an issue that my heart needs to address. Then, okay, so let's say the canary stopped singing. What thought was there? And what emotion am I feeling? There you go. Okay, so what emotion am I feeling brings me back to a breath, right? I'm going to inhale and really focus. Where's that emotion in my body? And let that emotion move through whatever it wants to move through. You know, an emotion will only last a maximum of 90 seconds if you're willing to sit with it. It may take courage, and it definitely takes patience when you are all agitated about something. But a deep breath where you're fully focused, let's say I feel fear in my heart, just to allow myself to focus on my heart, take a long, deep breath, and let it go. Usually will take me less than a minute, but isn't that how long an emotion lasts? 60 to 90 seconds? Maybe I need a second deep breath. And then what's really interesting, I've identified that I had this thought elicited an emotion of fear in my heart. I focus on my heart and I watch. It's all I have to do. A lot of times a deep breath helps, but you don't even have to do that. That emotion will amplify, at least this is the way it works for me. You'll have to tell me how it works for you. It will amplify almost like if you've ever had a baby, like a contraction. It will increase, it will peak, and it will decrease. Now, you might get some deep emotions, very much like a transition contraction, where it will increase, it will decrease a little, and it'll increase. It'll decrease a little, and it'll increase. And then it will descend. But I promise you, just like a contraction for having a baby, it ends. And it will only last up to 90 seconds. If you can just observe it and not engage in more thoughts about it, that's where the breath is helpful. It will dissipate. Maybe you'll have another one in a little while. Maybe in your quiet, you'll have an inspiration and a new thought. This is where it's really helped to journal. When you sit down to work on something like that, just have a piece of paper and then jot the things that are inspired. Praying. Who doesn't want help from a powerful being of our Creator? Pray and ask for help. Pray for being able to recognize. Pray for inspiration. Pray in gratitude that you even have the wherewithal to experience this emotion rather than diving off the deep end and having everything melt down. That's emotions. There are so many tools that you can use with your emotions. You've got the cleansing breath, right? Grounding here on your feet. And a long, deep breath, maybe 3. Then you've got the 5 whys, really helpful with your journal. And then you've got curiosity. What was that thought that I just had? My canary stopped singing. What emotion did that thought elicit? You know, I could be driving down the road and see a red light that lasts too long. And if I'm in a hurry, I'm going to look at that red light and the thought's going to be, I'm going to be late. And the immediate emotion is going to be some kind of frustration or fear. And I may not even recognize that. But when I stop long enough to get curious, I feel angry, I feel irritated, I feel fearful. Where? In my heart, in my shoulders, in my low back. What was that thought? Then I can talk to that part of me that had that thought. I can check in with my Creator and I can allow life to happen. You know, by nature, my canary sings all the time. She's a happy bird. I'm a happy soul. But when she doesn't, it really pays to notice. Because if you're driving down into the coal mine and your canary stops singing, it means you really need to pay attention. So my question, which would work best for you? Or would you use all 3? Would you use the breath, 3 nice deep breaths? Would you use the 5 whys? Would you see what's going on when the canary stops singing with the thought and the emotion that thought elicits, and then observing it in your body? I love them all, and I hope you will too. And I hope that you will join us next week for a Creator-Based Life once again. Love you guys. We'll talk soon. Bye. Hey, thanks for joining us today in A Creator-Based Life. I hope you felt that compassion, mindfulness, and hope you came seeking today. You can find more of it at cmhcoaching.com or on linktree/cmhcoaching. Of course, any social media outlet, we're there too. Because you felt the benefit and light in this message, please invite those you care deeply about to join us. Help us to create a ripple effect across the globe of compassion, mindfulness, and hope. Then we can create a creator-based life together. Have a great week, y'all. We'll talk to you soon.
With gratitude, I give thanks for everything. With every little thought I think, I can choose to be happy, choose to be free, moment by